Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are responding to a growing number of questions from viewers in both Canada and the United States about Alberta's independence debates and specifically what it could mean geopolitically. Now, with ongoing US-Canada trade tensions, America's demand for oil and gas, and Alberta's proximity to the American heartland, many people are asking whether Alberta's geography and resources give it strategic relevance. This video isn't about advocating separation or predicting outcomes. It's about explaining the geodynamics, infrastructure, and energy relationships that shape how the United States would likely view an independent Alberta. It's no secret that US-Canada relations have become more strained in recent years. Trade disputes, tariff threats, border issues, and disagreements over energy and environmental policy have all contributed to tension. President Donald Trump has publicly criticized Canada's trade practices and stated that the United States does not need Canada in the same way it once did. But rhetoric aside, the reality is this: the US and Canada remain each other's largest trading partners. They are deeply integrated in manufacturing and agriculture and closely linked through energy infrastructure and defense cooperation. From Washington's perspective, any discussion involving Alberta would still be viewed through this broader North American relationship. But when we talk about Alberta's energy and the US Midwest system, this is where Alberta's importance becomes tangible for Americans. Alberta produces large volumes of crude oil, and that matters because many US refineries are specifically designed to process Alberta's oil. These refineries are concentrated in the US Midwest: Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Michigan, and Wisconsin. In addition, North Dakota plays a critical role as a major pipeline junction, a Balkan production state, a storage and transit hub linking Canada's supply to US markets. Because of this infrastructure, Alberta's oil fits directly into the US energy system. Now, switching away from it would require expensive refinery upgrades and supply chain restructuring and disruptions. From an American energy security standpoint, Alberta is not distant or abstract. It is already part of the system. Let's talk geography more accurately. Alberta shares a direct land border with the US state of Montana. That border is approximately 298 kilometers, or about 185 miles. This border supports road and rail trade, pipeline and power interconnections, and agricultural and energy transport. Now, here is an important clarification. Alberta does not directly border North Dakota. Instead, Alberta has immediate corridor access through Saskatchewan. From a logistics and trade perspective, this means Alberta is one jurisdiction away from North Dakota, embedded in the same north-south trade spine, and integrated into the Bakken Midwest Energy Corridor. For US planners, this is what matters: connectivity, not borders. If Alberta were to become independent through a legal and negotiated process, Edmonton can negotiate trade and energy agreements directly with Washington, D.C., work more closely with US states like Montana and North Dakota, accelerate cross-border infrastructure coordination, and align regulations with US energy markets. From a US standpoint, Alberta would likely be seen as a stable neighboring energy producer, geographically integrated into the continental system, and economically pragmatic rather than ideological. This doesn't mean the US would support independence, but it does mean the US would almost certainly engage pragmatically if it occurred. Some Americans have asked whether Alberta could become the 51st state. Here's the reality. There is no official US policy as at today supporting Alberta's statehood. For that to happen, Alberta would first need to leave Canada legally. Canada would need to accept that outcome. Albertans will need to consent. The US Congress would need to approve admissions. And major constitutional and defense issues would need resolutions. That's an extremely high bar. The reason the idea comes up at all is because Alberta is energy rich, geographically connected, and economically familiar to the United States. But compatibility does not equal intent. These remain speculative, not policy. For the United States, recognition would depend on a clear democratic mandate, negotiations with Canada, regional stability, and respect for indigenous rights and treaties. The US historically prioritizes orderly outcomes, especially with close allies. Energy and geography matters, but diplomacy decides. So here is the takeaway for US viewers. Alberta has real strategic assets. A 185-mile border with Montana, immediate trade corridors to North Dakota, deep integration with Midwestern refineries, and oil and gas that match US infrastructure needs. These give Alberta relevance, not guarantees. The United States would likely approach any Alberta independence question cautiously, pragmatically, and with stability as its top priority. Understanding that balance is essential for serious discussions on both sides of the border. If you enjoy this content, please subscribe, like, and comment below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.